back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
I'm calling shenanigans. Full-time family Cody Garbrandt has said that he is willing to step up and fight Frankie Edgar to save UFC 222. Hell, at first he wanted to fight TJ Dillashaw, of course, you know, he wants his belt back. He said he would save the whole pay-per-view and fight TJ Dillashaw in the main event of UFC 222 on short notice. But as we all should have expected, including Cody Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw said, hell no, I got a million reasons I shouldn't fight you on short notice. I got a super fight, champion versus champion super fight on the way up. It took me 2 years to get my belt back after losing a split decision. I knocked you out. You skipped me to get a title shot. Do I need to keep going? There's a million reasons we all knew TJ Dillashaw wasn't going to take that fight. And now he's saying Frankie Edgar said, hey, anyone, any weight class, let's save this fight card. And when Frankie Edgar says that, I'm assuming he's talking about 145 or 155 pounds. So unless Cody Garbrandt's like, fuck it, I'll step up and fight Frankie Edgar, a wrestler, you know, a dominant wrestler at a higher weight class on short notice, yeah, I'll do that. Then this fight's not going to happen either, because when Frankie Edgar says any weight class, I don't think he's talking about cutting an extra 10 pounds. He's saying I'll go up and fight, but he could take the fight versus Cody Garbrandt at 135, but it's not looking like that's what's going to happen. And it just, why I'm calling shenanigans on Cody Garbrandt on this video is because, okay, so you're willing to fight TJ Dillashaw at UFC 222. You're willing to fight Frankie Edgar at UFC 222, which I could go into Cody Garbrandt versus Frankie Edgar. Actually, I'm going to do that for my boy Stamina MC in a second. But, so you're willing to fight Frankie Edgar and TJ Dillashaw. What about Jimmie Rivera? Jimmie Rivera, the dark horse of the bantamweight division, who's been wanting to fight Cody Garbrandt or Dominic Cruz or TJ Dillashaw only. That's all he wants to fight because he feels like he's earned his shot. He's on a 20-fight winning streak since his losing his professional debut years and years ago. Jimmie Rivera is a guy that has had trouble finding a fight. He's had 2 opponents pull out of their fight. He was supposed to fight at UFC 219 versus Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz got a broken arm, was replaced by John Lineker. John Lineker got a tooth infection. Marlon Moraes said he would take the fight and then ended up saying, actually, I can't make the weight, when Jimmie Rivera said, okay, let's fight. So now Jimmie Rivera is looking for a top bantamweight to fight, namely Cody Garbrandt or Dominic Cruz until TJ Dillashaw is done. So all I'm saying is if Cody Garbrandt's this willing to take a fight on short notice, that means he should be plenty healthy to accept a fight with Jimmie Rivera anytime soon. And Jimmie Rivera has took to Twitter to say, okay, well, it looks like Cody's healthy. Let's see me and Cody sometime soon. Let me know if you guys want to see it. So with that being said, that's the fight I want to see. I don't think we're going to see Cody Garbrandt saving UFC 222, although he is willing. So with that being said, though, props to Cody Garbrandt for trying to help the UFC save 222, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I hope he keeps this same energy when Jimmie Rivera is ready to fight, which I'm sure he is. Jimmie Rivera just missed both of his holidays, and now he's just been waiting for Cody Garbrandt or Dominic Cruz to get healthy enough to accept a fight. And with these call-outs of Frankie Edgar and TJ Dillashaw, Cody's sounding pretty healthy, eh? So, with that being said, let's talk about Cody Garbrandt versus Frankie Edgar just for a quick second for my boy Stamina MC, who said that was more interesting to him than the Nate Diaz fight. Now, Frankie Edgar versus Cody Garbrandt, that's really not even going to be a close fight, in my opinion. That you know what that, swear to God, smaller weight class, you know exactly what that would be like in my mind. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor, and we all know how that would go. Alright, this would be Cody Garbrandt if they were to fight, and I would be Frankie Edgar. Alright, I'm just fucking around. All I'm saying with that analogy is Frankie Edgar is a dominant wrestler. Cody Garbrandt is more of a boxer. I mean, of course, he's coming out of Team Alpha Male, so he's a great overall mixed martial artist. But he's got a boxing base. Frankie Edgar's got a wrestling base. And Frankie Edgar, even though he has fought at bantamweight before, is 145. He was about to fight for the 145-pound title. Wrestlers, we all know how much of weight advantages help wrestlers. So Cody Garbrandt, yeah, former bantamweight champion, he's got a chance at knocking out Frankie Edgar. He's a knockout artist, just like Conor McGregor has a chance of knocking out Khabib. But if Frankie Edgar was to get his hands on Cody Garbrandt, it would be bad news for Cody. Bad news for No Love. And I just don't think Cody Garbrandt, that'd be a good fight for him to take on short notice. Now, props to him, as I said earlier, for being willing to take the fight. But that would be bad news bears for Cody Garbrandt if he were to actually get put in a cage with Frankie Edgar. At this point, Frankie Edgar is former UFC bantamweight champion, right? Or was he the featherweight champion? Either way, he's had 8 title shots, won 4 of those fights, was about to fight for his 9th title shot versus Max Holloway, who was injured, which is unfortunate because Frankie Edgar was originally injured. They were scheduled to fight at, I believe, UFC 218, and Frankie Edgar had to pull out. And now they were scheduled to fight at UFC 222. Max Holloway had to pull out. So it also reminds us of Khabib in that way. You know, Khabib and Tony had their issues with the fight. So with that being said, it is what it is. Cody Garbrandt has said he's willing to fight Frankie Edgar since TJ Dillashaw doesn't want the rematch, doesn't want no smoke on short notice. And all I'm saying is that fight's probably not going to happen either. So let's see Cody Garbrandt versus Jimmie Rivera sometime in the near future. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G.